Okay, welcome to the introduction to my guitar clinic. I will be making a series of videos relating to different aspects of guitar playing, recording, performing, making songs, pretty much everything. In this first video I'll be discussing some basics that I consider fundamental to guitar playing. But keep in mind that this is just my point of view. There's many successful musicians who have completely different opinions from what I'm going to be telling you. But I'm doing my own thing because I get so many questions from all types of guitar players, any age, any level of experience, and regarding any aspect of guitar playing. This first video will be about my philosophy, so to speak, about guitar playing. And I have to start somewhere, so about tricks and guitar licks. A lot of people come up to me after they hear me playing somewhere and they ask me, can you teach me how to play some of those cool tricks that I just saw you playing? And the short answer is no, because I don't mind teaching people things. It's just that there are no tricks. Most of my playing is improvised, and even though I have a lot of influences that I could name, records that I like and songs that I love and solos that I like, I never really sat down and learned that stuff in particular. What I used to do is I listened to my favorite records and I learned some tricks and phrases that I thought were really cool, but I didn't want to copy those artists. I've always been a songwriter since I was around 7 or something, so I wanted the stuff I played to be something new all the time. So what I used to do is I kept the TV on or the radio on and just improvised to whatever music came on. I didn't pay any attention to what key it was in or if it was major or minor. I just played, and I usually had no idea what I was doing, and I still usually don't have any idea what I'm doing. But what I mean when I say that is like, imagine a hockey player when she or he makes a goal. Nobody comes up to them afterwards and asks, how did you get a puck into the goal? And they probably couldn't answer that question anyway, because they've been holding a hockey club since they were 3. I saw a brochure once for a music school, and it said that one of the things they were going to teach you was what goes through a bebop musician's mind when she or he plays a solo. And I hope nothing goes through their minds, because playing at that speed and with all those key changes, I just think it comes from the inside. I'm sure that's not the way it works for everybody, but I know that it would be for me, because I can't think as fast as I'm playing. The more I pay attention to what I'm doing, the more I tend to mess up. I play better when I pretty much forget that I'm playing and focus on other things, like, did I leave the stove on? Did I forget the window open? And is it raining? Is my floor going to be all wet when I come home? And if I'm in a studio and I'm having trouble with a solo, I usually tell them to turn on the TV or something so I can play properly. Playing music is a lot like talking. I mean, when you talk, you don't consciously choose every word and phrase that comes out of your mouth, unless you're reciting something that is already written, which is of course the same situation as it would be with music. Okay, about practicing. Practicing is of course really important, but it's not how much you practice, it's pretty much what you practice. You can practice scales and progressions and just improvising, but I feel really strongly about one thing, and that's never practice something that you're not going to be playing. And never practice in a way that you're not going to be playing. I see a very common problem with dancers, and the problem is that they just don't dance on stage the way they should. And I know what the reason is, because I've seen them practicing, and they got the music on and they're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, jump here, roll over here or whatever. But they don't do it all the way. It's like they're thinking, okay, I'm doing the right movements at the right time, at the right place, but I'm going to be perfecting the movements later because I don't want to wear myself out now. And trust me on this, that does not work. Because once you're on the stage doing these things, you're going to be doing them exactly the way you've been practicing them. So if you've been practicing them like half done, that's exactly what's going to happen on stage or in the TV studio or wherever. I mean, imagine a boxer practicing without a sack and practicing without a sparring opponent. He or she is going to get so beaten up when he or she goes into the ring that that's going to be the last time that that person goes into a fight. And playing any music instrument is just the same way. You have to practice exactly the same way as you're going to be performing it. Okay then, about practicing scales. Don't underestimate that, but don't overestimate it either, because you have to practice some scales because you have to practice your timing and your fingering. But if you practice them too much, that's what's going to come out when you're improvising, and that's not good, because it's really not going to be innovative. If you're an expert at playing scales, I don't think Mozart would have let you finish his Requiem. That's like having someone paint the back wall of the Sistine Chapel black and white, like checkered or striped or whatever. It might look really nice in your kitchen, but it wouldn't become a piece of art. Okay, about speed. Well, I play fast. I don't really shred, I don't play a lot of sweeping or string skipping and that kind of thing, but I play fast, and that's because that's what's inside me, that's the notes that want to come out. I even used to have real problems playing slow because I just switched back to playing fast no matter how I tried not to. So I had to learn how to play slow, but a lot of people like the fast things I play, and they ask me, how do you become fast? And I have no idea. Believe me, if I had the answer, I would write a book and sell 2 million copies, because everyone wants to know how to do it. But if you ask me how to play fast, it's like asking someone who's tall, how do you become tall? Actually, that's probably easier because you can probably take growth hormones or something like that. Unfortunately, I don't know about any guitar hormone or steroid that would help. But I'm going to do what I can to help, because I do know some tricks that can really give a speed boost if you want one. And that's going to be in the next episode, so all your speed lovers have something to look forward to. Other episodes are going to cover things like equipment, how to do the wall of sound with the guitar, a little bit about songwriting, and I'm even going to talk about how to play slow, which is actually easier for me to explain because it's something I had to learn myself, so I had to do a lot of thinking about it. I don't consider fast playing to be better than slow playing. Some of my favorite solos are really slow, and I can actually get pretty bored if it's just shredding all the time. Okay, I think that's enough philosophy for now, and I hope you're looking forward to my next episodes. I'm going to leave you with some music, and I hope you enjoy what it is that I'm doing. And there's sometimes quite strange things that I'm saying.